Indiana loses at home to Penn State. They're
Yeah.
up double figures at one point. They end up losing by, I think, 15
They lost by
points.
14. 14
To a
points.
Penn State team that didn't have their leading scorer, by the way.
Right.
Their best player. Well, maybe not their best player, but their leading scorer, Cleary.
Yep.
And there are boos, I'm told, at the end of the game for the team, for Mike Woodson. Obviously, he's one of their own. This thing has gone to a place where now they're basically 500 in league play under Woodson. You know, they've won one tournament game. They won one in the first four, but in the main bracket, they've won one tournament game. This year, obviously, they're not making the NCAA tournament right now. Their net's somewhere around 100.
And they just don't have that many opportunities left. I mean, Ohio
They're
State
done.
would be a quad one road. They're
They're done.
64th. Purdue's obviously quad one away. Well, Northwestern's that'd be quad two at home. Nebraska's quad two.
Listen,
at home.
you're wasting time. You're wasting time going through.
They do have like 3 more quad
Doesn't
one
matter.
opportunities.
They're not winning them. They're not winning. So it's irrelevant. Irrelevant. Here's my question to you. How much faith do you have in Mike Woodson getting this thing right, and how? What do you do if you're Woodson and his staff in Indiana try to get this back on track? I think he'll get one more year.
Yeah,
because
I mean, I'm under the assumption Khalil Ware is gone. I would think he's
gone.
100% pick.
100%.
Mackenzie Mbako will be interesting. Probably should come back to school, but might go. I think Malik Renew's back for another year. You lose Galloway. You lose Xavier Johnson.
Is Galloway out of eligibility?
I thought he was. Maybe he has one more year COVID-wise. He might have a COVID
one more. I bet he's got one more.
Okay, he might have a COVID year. Which he's a good player, I think, as long as his role is what it was last year. His role was perfect, and I think he played so well in it. And I think this year maybe it's a different type.
It's his fourth year, Rob. He has one more year.
Okay, so he has one more year. Yeah. I just think he's got to go to the portal, and he's got to find not just the most talented players, but guys that can fit together. And he's got to get more perimeter skill. They need a point guard that can be high level. You know, they need a really good point guard, and they need some shooting around these guys. And if you can get some shooting around Malik Renew and a guy that can run the show with the portal, you can turn this around quickly. But I think there's going to have to be a different approach. Like this year in the portal, all right, Khalil Ware, no question, very talented. I think he's played well. I think he's played much harder. Good get. Anthony Walker, how does he fit around Mbako, Renew, and Ware? You know, like he's an athlete, but you would have been much better served to go out. And look, they thought Xavier Johnson would be healthy, and they thought he'd be one of the best point guards in the league. And that has not worked out. He's not been healthy. He has not played well.
You know, what's strange is, hey, Rob, what's strange is that they couldn't get another point guard. And it should have been easy in a way, because there was a stretch there where you didn't know if Xavier Johnson was even going to be eligible.
No, that's a great point. But again, and you also bring in Peyton Sparks. So you brought in a center,
you got him in right away.
Forward.
They didn't need Walker. They didn't need Walker. They got Sparks right away. He's a local kid. He played.
Well, and he's got multiple years. He's got multiple. Like you can have him for I think 2 or 3 years.
Walker was the one that made no sense. If you took Sparks, then you don't need Walker, and you needed another guard that could honestly play both guards.
And also, Jeff, think about if Mackenzie Mbako, if Filipowski does not return to Duke and Mackenzie Mbako stays as a Duke commit, this roster would be, I mean,
bad.
It would be crazy without him.
Yes.
So I just think that there needs to be a pivot in approach of players that you're going after. Point guard is essential. Have to get a point guard. Have to add skill. And if you can do that, if you can keep Renew, I feel like Indiana can be much better. I think he's a really good player. He's really improved, Renew. But you've got to get some skill and someone to run the show around him if he comes back next year.
And you need, like, the guys coming off the bench, like they're fine. Like you said, Galloway, Leal, some of these guys coming off the bench are fine.
I mean, like Leal he had a good game. Who'd they beat? Iowa game. He played well there. They got 3 bench points from CJ Gunn, Anthony Walker, and Anthony Leal against Penn State. It's not good enough. Honestly, for Indiana, that's not good enough.